Here comes a new challenger!
Hello everyone, and welcome to my 9.0 wishlist. This is just buffs and nerfs. Let's just get started quickly, shall we? Now, before I get to the characters, I would like to talk about general gameplay things I would like changed. So, I have two main things I want. One being full hop aerials as a shortcut. Short hop aerials pretty much take over the buffer system. I mean, it's such a big issue, especially when you do want to use full hop aerials. So have it be a shortcut to sort of get past around it, have it be its own like separate button or a combination of buttons. So for instance, you have one be short hop attack with like Y, and then with X it could be full hop attack as an example. The other thing I would like is a reworking to the ledge. When it comes to the ledge is very powerful, and so I would like something towards that being that when you have your invincibility on the ledge, you are ledge hogging, whereas normally what would happen is that you grab ledge and then someone grabs it and then you get bumped off. Have it be like melee or brawl where you are hogging the edge, but only during invincibility, right? So if you try to re-jump the ledge, it won't work, and if you hang on to the ledge too long, then you won't have your invincibility. And of course, you wouldn't want to have it so if you roll from ledge, right, so you get up, roll, no, that wouldn't count. It's only when you were holding onto the ledge and you still have your invincibility. I feel it would give the game something unique, would make players think of ways to recover differently, and would, in my opinion, just enhance the game in a sense, because now you have the best of both worlds, and you know, now you as a player are going to have to figure out ways to recover or whatever it may be. Basically, that's all I'm trying to say. Alright, now let's move on to the characters. From bottom to top, we have needs some nerfs. Let's start with Palutena. Palutena's shield attacks, particularly back air and dash attack, has invincibility. The problem with that is that it really feels like it's full body invincibility even though it's not. So you'll have situations where, as an example, say you're Lucina and you counter the dash attack, or your counter just loses because, hey look, Palutena's shield blocks it. I don't think it happens all the time, but it's still a nuisance when it does. And even still, sometimes you can attack behind Palutena and it will still just count on the shield instead of Palutena. I feel the shield needs some sort of rework because it's really obnoxious. It's why back air spamming with Palutena is so strong. When it comes to Sonic, just remove invincibility on spin dash and make it so if homing attack hits shield, you have much more lag, right? Because Sonic is pretty much plus when he uses spin dash and homing attack. He can get away with it and running away and then homing attacking and spin dashing. It's really obnoxious. You know, it really helps how his campy playstyle. With the changes I mentioned, it basically makes Sonic's think a bit more, you know, because I feel that as the player, as the person playing Sonic, you typically really aren't thinking too hard about how to approach, because you know that as the player you can pretty much get away with getting in and out all the time without much room for thought, you know. Moving on, we have Game & Watch. For Game & Watch, I just want his smash attacks nerfed. Nerfed how? Have them have more lag. The problem is that Game & Watch's smash attacks, like down smash, has a lot of range, so it's really hard to kind of get in, especially if there's a platform above. And even if you try to approach Game & Watch from above, because smash attacks have deceptively low lag, you can just up smash, and up smash has invincibility on the helmet, so Game & Watch will win that interaction. Or Game & Watch could just up B, you know, and win that way as well. But you get my point. So I feel that another issue is that Game & Watch can run away in smash attack. That's a big problem. I feel Game & Watch should not be able to run away and smash attack as he pleases, so my suggestion would be to give it more lag. When it comes to Min, simple stuff. I don't like that you can use both arms even after one of them has already hit shield. I feel if you shield one of the arms, Min cannot use the other for that period. The reason why I say this is because it leads to situations where Min can basically delay the second arm, and effectively, you know, you think you're good to go, you think you can attack, you think you can let go of your shield and approach, but then Min Min will suddenly throw out the other arm. It's pretty obnoxious, so I feel that should be removed. You know, the ability to fire both arms on shield like that or delay the second hit is pretty bad. I would also like it for Min Min to have more lag or more startup on some of her close range moves. The problem is that up close, Min Min is, well, she's safe pretty much. She doesn't have to worry too much when people get in her space. Her up smash comes up pretty fast, so does down smash. You know, a lot of her moves up close are pretty quick, so you're not really too worried when your opponent catches up to you. Alright? To compensate for her losing harder close range though, I do think maybe her up B can have a bit more range to it in terms of grabbing the ledge, the tether, but otherwise she's really good up close and she's really good from far away. You know, I mean, she's not like extremely good up close, but she's good enough that, you know, you don't really have to worry too much. Now it needs one nerf. For Peach, simple. Just have it so when she short hop floats, it counts as a short hop. Or do something. Make it so if she's low to the stage, or low to a platform, right? That way it counts as short hop attacks and knockback. You damage and knockback rather. You see, the problem is that when Peach, Daisy, short hop, float, cancel, they essentially have the full hop, damage and knockback, which leads to situations where, you know, you're holding your shield and suddenly your shield just breaks because they're just able to nair constantly by canceling all of that. It's pretty crazy, it's pretty insane. So in my opinion, I do think that when they do something like that, they should have the short hop variations in terms of damage and knockback. Next up with Yoshi, simply put, I just want the way double jump works kind of nerfed. Let me explain. When Yoshi double jumps and gets hit out of the double jump, because it does have heavy armor, Yoshi will take, I believe, half, if not like a third of knockback. That, I think, should be removed if you are able to punish Yoshi for that. Right? If you're able to break that armor, it should just straight up do the full amount of knockback. When it comes to Roy, just reduce the scaling, especially in Rage. When it comes to Roy's side B, it's crazy how early it kills, especially when you have high amounts of Rage. When it comes to Pac-Man, reduce the priority on bonus fruit. When it comes to Shulk, have an extra timer or more time for Monado Arts to recharge. It really feels like Shulk can just run away constantly, wait for his Monado Arts to charge, and by the time you catch up to them, he's back to, you know, using speed and beating you in neutral because, well, that's his Shulk, and then he deals crazy damage, and then, you know, when he starts running away, like I said, by the time you catch up to him, he already has his stuff ready back to use, and it's just a hassle. So I feel they should have more time to recover. Next up, we have a similar situation with these three next characters being Pika, Squirtle, and Greninja. Just have it so their hurt box gets increased. That's pretty much it. Finally, we have Diddy Kong. Just remove infinites entirely. Diddy Kong's, they found another infinite after they already removed one of them. And when I mean infinites, I mean not even fun to watch infinites. You know, it's just sort of like the same thing over and over again. You know, there's nothing really crazy hype about just banana infinites. You know, we've already seen like plenty of them, so it's like, you know, it shouldn't really be there. I think if any character has infinites, it should just be removed. Yeah, but that's just my opinion. Isabelle has a similar thing where she also has an infinite, and I think that should be removed also. But we'll get to Isabelle later. Next we have Can Stay the Same. Most of these characters were characters that were buffed in the previous patch and were given pretty good buffs. I feel that people just need to experiment with these characters more. Some of the examples being Falcon. Of course, Falcon's been everywhere since the last patch. You know, characters like Villager I feel need to be touched a bit more. Perhaps even a character like K. Rool, you know, etc. Corrin even, like, I feel like a lot of characters just need to be seen more. You know, we need more people seeing what they can do. But hey, you know, we'll see what happens. You know, and other characters that are here are either because I just don't know what would I do to buff them or nerf them to make them more, or because I don't want to make a character more obnoxious. You know what I mean? So that's just how it goes from there. Next, we have needs to be reworked. So with Wii Fit, very strong on ledge. Her entire game plan is just the ledge. I feel that we should have this nerfed in some way, because the fact that Wii Fit could just stay on ledge the entire game without any repercussions is kind of crazy to me. So I feel like her game plan needs to be reworked. Maybe make her like a trap character, maybe, or utilize some of her moves better, like, because gameplay wise she's super lame in that aspect, right? Like, at least most characters in this game you have to interact with at some point, you know, and a character like Wii Fit doesn't really truly need to interact that much, and when she does, you know, once she has deep breathing, she's basically taking 60 or 70% on you, like, it's just crazy. So I think Wii Fit should be reworked in that way. When it comes to Luigi though, Luigi kind of in a similar situation. Luigi relies on zero to death combos. He relies on getting that grab, and so because of that, the entire gameplay is just for Luigi, get in, get the grab, get the kill. For the opponent, camp Luigi, don't let him get close, don't let him don't let him grab you. As for the spectator is gonna find that boring. Fighting against Luigi, watching Luigi play, it is super boring. I feel the character needs to be reworked, make him have a better neutral, remove the death combo, or just nerf his grab entirely, because honestly, you know, Luigi's whole game plan is just to make sure you don't go over 30, you know, and get that grab. It's so dumb. It's really stupid. So I feel like, personally, Luigi should get nerfed. Or not nerfed, but rather reworked. Now, these next two are, you know, I'm pretty sure some of you are interested. Richter, Dark Samus, and Daisy. These three characters share little to no difference with the character they're echoing. I feel that Daisy, Dark Samus, and Richter should get something for you to want to pick one over the other, and something meaningful, not something like Richter's Holy Water is aura, that means it's better against Olimar, and Simon's Holy Water is better against characters with bombs. They're literally just glorified skins given a roster slot. It's really stupid in my opinion, because we have a character like Byleth, who male and female wise both have different idols, taunts, and victory screens. It makes no sense for these three to have their own slot. I mean, I guess Dark Samus's animations are a bit harder, but otherwise, there's no reason for them to have their own slot. I think that these three characters need to have at least a difference, at least one or two. You know, Dark Pit only has 2 differences from Pit, but yet there's a reason why you see Dark Pit and Pit on a tier list more often than you'll see Samus and Dark Samus together, or Simon and Richter together, because they're the same character. You know, at least with Pit and Dark Pit, there's a reason for you to want to pick Dark Pit or Pit in a certain matchup. With these three, it's literally just pick the character you like the most, you know? There's, like I said, there's no reason for them to be on the roster if they're not going to have any meaningful difference. So I feel these three characters need something for you to have a reason to pick them over the original. But that's simply just my opinion. Next, we have one buff. Pretty simple. Ice Climbers, Nana AI, improve it. Mewtwo, remove the tail. Joker, there's this weird thing where his up B tether will sometimes connect to the ledge and sometimes won't. That's very awkward, so I feel like they should change it maybe in some way to make it more consistent. When it comes to Mii Brawler, flashing Mach Punch hitbox is pretty janky because sometimes the move won't even work even if you get the punches. It's really stupid. For Zero Suit, even though I put one buff, I guess like there's kind of like 2 small ones, which is just mainly connection buffs. Have up B, the initial hitbox have a bigger hitbox, hits lower to the ground, because after a berry or after a stun, sometimes it's very awkward when Zero Suit tries to go for the up B and then the move doesn't even, like the initial hit doesn't even connect. And have forward air connect a bit better. Same thing with Lucina, have Nair connect better. For Ryu and Ken, it's pretty simple. Between jab 1 and 2, there's not a lot of stun, which means opponents can just up B or something or shield in between the hits. I feel that jab 1 should just get a bit more stun. That's all I want. For Isabelle, have her rolls better. Young Link has a similar issue. They have some of the shortest rolls, and so it's kind of hard for them to get out of, you know, a disadvantageous position. But you know, maybe you'll have a different opinion, but I do think that, you know, when it comes to them shielding, they shouldn't struggle as much as like some other characters don't. You know, some characters, like a lot of characters, can just get at a disadvantage with a roll, but yet these two don't. But hey, you know, that's just me, right? That's just me. Similar thing for Bowser, make his tech roll better. You know, Bowser, one of the things that makes Bowser so bad is that his tech roll, it's so easy to punish because of how the animation is. It's really stupid that way. When it comes to Terry, just reduce the SDI multiplier on his jab, because trying to connect things like power dunk or rising tackle can be very awkward, especially if your opponent knows how to DI those things, because then you won't get the connection, you won't get the hit in, you won't have your jab go into your special. It's really awkward that way. It's really stupid. So I feel like they should just reduce it. Pichu, return F tilt back to normal as what it once was. Every other nerf could stay, but have this nerf be revoked, because when Pichu doesn't get a kill with like his up air or his grabs or whatever, he struggles to kill, and now he's dealing himself percent trying to kill you when you're at a higher percent. You know what I mean? When it comes to Sheik, I just thought this would be an interesting idea. When Sheik charges up needles, the needles stay on Sheik's hand, so I feel that for moves that utilize Sheik's hand, they maybe get a buff in terms of range, maybe like 1 or 2% more damage and stun, you know, added stun. I think it'd be really interesting, but hey, that's just me. When it comes to Robin, decrease the cooldown timer on tomes and have it so when you use a tome, right, and you don't have that tome on you, have it so Robin will do a fake out animation that comes out way faster than the actual animation and has little to no lag. This way, if your opponent thinks you already got your tome back, you can just fake them out with an animation. They'll be scared, shield, and then you punish accordingly. I think that would be very cool way of handling that. And if you're wondering what I mean by fake out, think of, if you haven't played it, in Street Fighter Alpha 2, you can do a fake Hadouken input, which basically did what I just described. Less lag, you know, the move didn't come out, it was just a means to trick your opponent. I think that'd be great for Robin. And finally, for Jigglypuff on this row, my own little opinion is just have Rest have a better hitbox. Rest's hitbox is really small, so sometimes even when you think you're going to get the rest, sometimes you don't. It's very inconsistent that way. So I feel like it should be, like, I feel it should cover her entire body, but that's just me. Alright, it needs a few buffs. We have Zelda. Zelda, I feel, is a pretty poorly designed trap character, so here are a few suggestions I think that would help her out. 1, have Phantom stay out longer and give you a better way of controlling it, right? So it doesn't attack automatically because it comes up pretty quickly. Have it so Zelda is able to set up traps, you know, with Phantom, with Din's Fire, as an example. I feel that if she could have these things, it would make her general game plan a lot better. But as it is right now, she kind of struggles. Little Mac and Donkey Kong have similar issues. Just make it so their tilts are not negative on hit. Some of their tilts aren't, but you know, things like up tilt are, you know, things like down tilt can be sometimes for Mac, and for Donkey Kong it definitely is if it doesn't trip. So I feel personally these things should not be negative on hit. You know, I think any move that hits shouldn't be negative, you know, but hey, maybe that's just me. And when it comes to Mac, I would like it so his side B gets refreshed, because even if you bring it back, his recovery is still exploitable, so at least give Mac that fighting chance, a fighting opportunity. And as for Donkey Kong, have his up B go a bit higher vertically. because it's just horizontally and it's pretty bad. When it comes to Bayonetta, just have her moves connect a lot better. That's pretty much it. And that is, you know, there's still a lot of moves that don't really connect all too well. But hey, you know, that's just how it is. As for Simon, and you know, similar thing applies to Richter, of course. Give Simon better ways of keeping out your opponent, because with the way they're designed, once you're super up close and you hit them once off stage, Belmonts die. So I think that maybe their keep away tools should be a bit stronger, maybe give the chain a better, wider hitbox, right? Just that's not too much, just wide enough. Have down tilt connect better into itself and give it a actual hitbox, because those hitboxes are janky. But you know, that's that. When it comes to Byleth, just give Byleth better aerial speed. That way Byleth is able to utilize moves like Fair and Bear a lot better to help space those moves out. Dr. Mario, better speed, because I mean, Dr. Mario, he's very slow, barely any airspeed. It's pretty bad on Doc's end. I feel Doc should get a few buffs, especially when Dr. Mario is supposed to be the powerhouse version of Mario, yet Mario is just way more superior than his Doctor counterpart, so I feel he does need buffs in those areas. When it comes to Bowser Jr., have it so up B, when you get hit, no matter how strong the hit, as long as it does knockback, you should be able to get Clown Cart back. And when it comes to down B, have it so it goes through shields. There's no reason why it should stop when it hits a shield. I feel like you should be able to use that to control a platform, for instance, but you really can't, so Bowser Jr. struggles to have stage control. Another thing is that you can spike Bowser Jr. during Bowser Jr.'s get-up attack. It's pretty ridiculous, so in my opinion, I think that Bowser Jr. Should have more invincibility during that get-up attack until he gets on the stage. Next we have Ganon. Have Nair connect better and give his moves more priority, and improve the hitbox of up smash, because up smash, when it's ending, it just loses a hitbox, which means characters like Snake could just crouch under it, which is hilarious, but still it can be obnoxious. When it comes to Ridley, side B should have either less startup or less end lag. It's pretty bad in that respect, and for a move that's supposed to be similar to characters like Ganon or Mii Brawler Suplex, you know, when those moves connect and you take them off stage, you know, your opponent is most likely dead unless they have an extremely good recovery. However, with Ridley pops up the opponent, thus most characters can safely get back to the stage, while Ridley is dead. Why is Ridley the only character with this nonsense? But hey, that's just me. Next up we have Toon Link. Toon Link I feel is just a weaker young Link in every respect, so I feel like we should change up Toon Link's general game plan by buffing a few moves. And now some of these buffs may be weird sounding, but let me explain. I feel moves like Boomerang and Arrow should move a bit slower, because that way you can run behind those moves and have Toon Link approach the opponent, give certain moves better hitboxes, have a move like Down Air have always a spike hitbox, but at the end of it have it so the spike hitbox is just weaker, as an example. And finally, when it comes to Toon Link, I would say improve or give less knockback to back air, that way it combos into itself a bit better. And then last we have King Dedede. For King Dedede, I just want at least these two changes when it comes to it. Improved dash attack, I would suggest giving it heavy armor, not super armor, heavy armor right when he slides. Not when he's doing not when he's actually jumps up and then slides. Have it so it slides, so when have armor when it slides rather. So when you go for a 2-frame, you know, in case Dedede gets hit, unless it's a very strong move, he beats it out in 2 frames the opponent with it. Because Dedede's frame data, which is the next thing I want, a bit improved. Still give it the same lag, but have it have a bit more startup, or less startup rather, because DDD, in terms of just throwing out moves, really can't, you know. DDD has really slow frame data, a pretty linear recovery. It's just that I don't know, I feel like DDD should get these sort of buffs, but that's just my opinion. And lastly, needs major buffs. Lucario, let's start with him. Lucario sucks. The problem with Lucario is that it really feels like you need to put yourself in disadvantage to deal any sort of meaningful damage. The only way Lucario is really going to do well as any normal character is if he reaches at least 80%, and now he's a character that you can play. But prior to that, he sucks, he's bad. I feel like they should have it so Aura, you know, Lucario starts off much stronger than he does, but Aura doesn't scale as high, because now you have a character who's really obnoxious. So for instance, when Lucario should be theoretically losing, now he's taking your stocks at like 20, like it's very crazy. It's very overtuned. And another thing, I feel he should get frame data buffs, because his moves come out very slow. So I feel like that's also an issue. Next we have Mii Sword Fighter. Mii Sword Fighter is a very linear character. He's pretty much just tornado into up B or up air, whichever you want. Give Mii Sword Fighter, make his customs, improve his other customs, give a reason to utilize those other customs, maybe so they can help out in Mii Sword Fighter's, you know, combos or whatever the case may be. Allow him to become a more interesting character. Maybe give some of his moves the ability to combo better, whatever the case may be, because otherwise Mii Sword Fighter is just a very, very linear character, and that is not great. When it comes to Marth, not only do I want the Nair to connect to itself a bit better, but tipper hitboxes need to be fixed. Characters that have weird hitbox shifting basically kills Marth, because Marth isn't able to consistently hit them. I feel in that regard, Marth should get a buff. And finally, we have Kirby. Kirby, in my opinion, needs better airspeed and ground speed, along with down air, connecting better into other moves in order to combo a lot better, because you can't really combo with that move, and give Kirby some frame data buffs, because some of his moves do come up pretty slow. you know they have pathetic range, so in my opinion, to compensate, give him better frame data, give him better airspeed and ground speed. Kirby's recovery is linear as is, so giving him better airspeed really isn't going to be that much of an issue. And giving him better frame data, again, his moves are already small as is, so giving him faster frame data wouldn't really hurt too much. And with that, that is my 9.0 wish list for buffs and nerfs. This is what I would like for each of the characters. Hopefully, you know, we see some low tiers getting a bit better, raising up on tiers. But hey, with that all being said, thank you for watching, take care of yourself, and as always, have a great rest of your day.